Hi, you're very welcome. I'm Jackie McGloughlin, and I am focusing today on anger. Now, you might be feeling a little more frustrated, a bit frustrated, edgy, maybe even a bit angry, and it's not just you. I was reading an article in the journal the other day, and 44% of us, that's almost half, are frustrated. We're fed up with restrictions, finding difficulties in life, irritated, edgy. And that's not a great place. But whether it's because of the restrictions or more day-to-day things, because we've had anger for longer, and maybe the tea isn't right, or you're out of milk, or the house is a mess, and you've had a rough day. But even when I've had a rough day, I still have to make the dinner. So how can I make a change? And as I was reflecting on this, springtime can be even more challenging because the energies in springtime are expansion and creativity. We can see this in the growth of new trees and flowers, and the birds are singing and everything's just blossoming. But if we can't blossom in our lives, if we're constrained, that great energy can turn to frustration and anger. So it's a great time to work with these energies. And then we'll be sorted before summer comes, and when the restrictions are gone, we'll be free to move about and all that. So how can we make ourselves more in harmony? How can we feel better and be better in our lives? So just to think a little bit more about anger. When we have disharmonized energy, we can be angry, full of resentment, frustration, and then that can turn to indecision because we don't know quite what to do. And I had a client who came into me, and as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh, she looks different. Her shoulders were tight. Her steps were very tight. And her face was drawn and her brow was furrowed. And she wasn't breathing very well. She was just tense. And when she talked, her voice was very clipped and hard. And as I talked with her before we started her session, first thing she said was, I am so frustrated. I am just fed up with this. And it just showed how when our energies aren't in harmony, it can affect us in our mind, body, and spirit. And we can change that. There is hope. I know that I've been in situations where I didn't see the hope. When I was tense and when I was sore and when I was frustrated, I didn't see a way out of it, but there is a way out of it. There is hope. Now, when our energies are in disharmony, it actually has effects on our body. If we're angry, these are some of the things that generally come along with it. We'll be tense in our bodies, muscle tension, and how we're just holding ourselves, and in our heads we'll get headaches, tension headaches, migraines. And because our body is working so hard, it's not meant to be in that state, we have fatigue. Because when you get angry, our body produces more adrenaline and cortisol. Now, this is brilliant if we're in a situation where we need to be on task and pushing and protecting ourselves, like if we're in a fight with the fabled tiger. But if we don't have that tiger around, and if we're still tense and producing all these chemicals in our body, it actually changes our blood chemistry. Because not only is the adrenaline flowing, our breathing is changing. So it's changing those ratios. And we also have more glucose being produced and provided to our muscles to fuel that flight or flight response. And it's very taxing on the body. But it's also taxing on our emotions, because if we're in an extended state of frustration, irritability, it can turn inwards and we can be depressed. That's not where we want to be. We want to be living happy, joyous, and free, is what I've heard. But I'm definitely not happy and joyous and free if my energies are congested and if I'm struggling to make it through the day. So I propose that we change how we're thinking about anger. Because I mentioned at the beginning that anger is one side of our spring energies where we have frustration and being constrained, but the other side is open and expansive and creative. So I was prompted to look up some information about, well, why is anger? What does it do for us? Why is it useful? And some of the benefits or the gifts of anger, one writer was saying, was that anger prompts us to negotiate with things that aren't working in our lives. If we didn't have that dissonance, we probably wouldn't make steps to make changes with people. And it also energizes us. It gets us going, because if we're calm, we probably won't want to make a lot of changes right then. You might, but if you're frustrated about something, you have that energy built up and it energizes us to take action. And it motivates us to take actions too. So by having this energy and motivation, we can also build our awareness and understanding of things. And it can make a difference in how we show up in our lives. So it allows our soul to connect with things. And when we're in harmony, we can move forward. So that's the background stuff. A bit of practical, because Jin Shin Jyutsu is very practical. I invite you to hold your middle finger. And when you're holding your middle finger, you don't have to grip or press. I remember when I was first learning, I wanted to make sure I did it really well, so I made it really tight. And I think I even had some impressions on my hands at first. And we don't need to do that. We can gently, lovingly hold our hands. Just cradle them. The energy has an innate wisdom, and our bodies have an innate wisdom of how to be, how to flow, how to work within our physical being and our spiritual being. So by holding the middle finger, it connects you with the energies related to anger and creativity. So when things aren't going to plan in our life, we can actually help to harmonize them. Taking a few minutes out, notice how you're breathing. Is it tight? Can you relax it a bit? How are your shoulders? When I get tense, they go up, and I just kind of drop them. So just to hold your hands. And I invite you to continue holding your hand, left or right. You can hold it for as long as you like. I recommend 3 to 5 minutes. If you have a little bit of time, you can do longer. And if you only have a few moments, take a few moments. It's all good. And while we're holding our middle finger, I'm going to share with you a poem by another Jin Shin Jyutsu practitioner. She very kindly gave me permission to share this with you. Anger by Carolyn Street. Anger is never cool. It makes you forget your very soul, let alone what you learned in humanities school. Luckily, all you have to do is, instead of flipping someone the bird, or worse, hurting them with your actions or angry words, hold your middle finger. It can't hurt. Honesty is the best policy. express your anger responsibility. Public speaking is the result of good private thinking. Save your self-respect from sinking. Do a swish, make a wish, lower your voice. Remember, you always have a choice. I really like that poem, and I'm grateful that Carolyn was willing to have me share it with you today. So as we continue to hold our middle fingers, let's change to our other hand. A little bit about Jin Shin Jyutsu. It's a Japanese word, and the art came from Japan. Jiro Murai, the stalwart gentleman in the top, developed the art, and Mary Burmeister, one of his key students, extended that. And the point that I really want to make today, I've shared about their stories in other talks, and you can look those up. But for anyone who isn't familiar with Jin Shin Jyutsu, it's based on energetic pathways in the body, and they're very similar to the meridians from acupuncture and reflexology. So it's a well-known, well-based art that we can help ourselves with. You can experience Jin Shin Jyutsu as we are now by holding our hands, and you can learn more how to do that. And I'll share about that in one moment. But in addition to helping ourselves, we can also be helped by other people. Similar to when you go for an acupuncture treatment or Reiki or massage, all those wonderful options, you can go to a trained practitioner and receive sessions. And that's amazing, because not only are you helping yourself, you're helping others by being better in yourself and being better able to show up. So when you receive sessions from a trained practitioner, it's self-care, and it's also useful for showing up in the world. When you come for a session, some people go, well, what's it like? And you relax on a padded massage table. I have a fluffy blanket that you can curl up under. The only part of your clothing that you remove is your shoes, so it's just to be more comfortable. And you relax, and the practitioner gently holds different parts on your body. I'll talk about the safety energy locks in just a little while. And those are the places on your body that help us feel better. So you can receive sessions. You can also have benefits similar to yoga, because you can help yourself. And the way I think of this is that when I go to my yoga class, my teacher is showing me ways to help myself, ways to hold my body, position my body. And then I do the same thing she does and receive the benefits. And then I take that knowledge home with me and I can practice it. So Jin Shin Jyutsu offers both, because you can receive the sessions, you can also practice self-care. And learning about that, it's kind of fun, because you can meet up with a practitioner, or you can read a book and just be in the art, be with yourself, and get the benefits. So these are both available online during the restrictions, so it's not like with our hair where we have to wait for things to open up. We can access the benefits anytime. I'm going to share 2 more tips with you today. There's probably, when I was doing my research on specifically on how to help our springtime energies with anger, there were hundreds. But I don't want to overwhelm you today, so I'm just going to share 3 with you. In addition to holding your middle finger, there's another way that you can help yourself by holding a mudra. With this mudra, and I'll tell you more about it as we go along, you hold your little finger, your ring finger, and your middle finger all together. By doing this, it helps you to release the things that happen during the day, anger, worries, and fears. When you're holding a hand position, It's drawing your awareness in, and it's helping to stimulate different energy flows in the body. So just by doing this, you're helping 3 different types of energy. Actually 6, because for each type of energy, there's 2 different subsets. There's 144 different energetic pathways in our body. Amazing. Now, Deepak Chopra had a very wonderful way of phrasing it, because the mudras are in yoga, they're in Buddhism, and there's hundreds of them. But what he said really caught my awareness. And what he said was, mudras allow us to go inward and to recharge our energy levels. So not only are we helping our physical energy, we're also helping our inner being. And that's amazing. So the other thing I'm going to share with you today is to do with your safety energy locks. And as I said, we have lots of them. We have 52 of them. They are up and down our bodies, head to toe. We have 52, 26 on the right side, and then a mirror of 26 on the left side. And each of these safety energy locks has a specific purpose, a specific function, and specific ways that it supports us to being better and feeling better in our lives. So the particular one that relates to anger, here's my demonstration: foot and ankle. And this is the big toe, and this is the little toe. So this would be the inside of the foot, and this is the outside of the foot. When you're doing this particular hold with our safety energy locks, the centers, the living energy centers that help us, you always want to have your right hand on the inside and your left hand on the outside of the ankle. And this will help to release things that we don't need anymore in our lives, to release fears and frustrations. And it will help us to transform things so that we can make that transition from tension and frustration and indecision. It'll help us move forward. So as you can see in the pictures here, you can help someone who's in your home. You can help them with this, and you can also help yourself. Just remember to always keep your right hand on the inside of the ankle. If it's the right ankle, it's the right hand on the inside. If it's the left ankle, it's the left hand on the inside of the ankle, or the right hand on the inside of the ankle again. So I invite you to continue holding whatever's most comfortable for you, whether it's the safety energy lock hold that I've shown you, or the mudra, or your middle finger. And drop your shoulders, breathe. Get comfy on the couch, or maybe you're in your bed relaxing. And I'm going to share with you a reflection that I wrote as I was looking at working with the springtime energies. So just pick your hold and relax. And Beyond Anger by Jackie McGloughlin. We enter this world as complete souls, crossing the bridge from the invisible eternity to the visible world. As our spirit is transformed, we receive our gifts, our inheritance, the solar energy, and our physical experience. Through our 5 senses, we perceive ourselves and the world. These senses are our gift and our challenge. We sense something not quite right. It doesn't fit with our vision of the light. So our emotions and our visions become locked on a tiny part of the universe. When in harmony, we become aware of who we are, our unique essence, with a view of that bridge between the visible and invisible. So our time is about up. our takeaways from today, because I've shared with you a lot of things, and to condense it down to the most important messages for you. With Jin Shin Jyutsu, you can help yourself anytime, anywhere. You can hold these positions, whether you're in a meeting, at home, if you're out going for a walk or getting a coffee or something. You can always hold your hands, and you can always help yourself feel better and be better. I'm offering people a free gift today. I've prepared a sheet with some additional tips and information. This goes beyond what you've received in the talk, and I'd be very happy to share it with you. Just let me know. And the third takeaway is that Jin Shin Jyutsu is for you, and I offer sessions to people remotely, and you can reach me on the web, on the phone, and you can find more information on social media. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.